Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is a concept that in the past students have had difficulty with. It's come back several times that they don't understand it. And while you will not actually be checking a woman for what I'm about to talk to you about, you have to have in the background, you have to be able to understand that one of the issues in labor is how the baby comes through the pelvis. And that's called the passageway in your notes. So what we're going to talk about today is a concept called station. And station is the relationship of the presenting part of the baby. In this case, it's going to be the vertex, or the head, in relationship to a particular place on the maternal pelvis. And I'm going to tilt this pelvis up and show it to you upside down. It's called the ischial spines, and it's on the internal side of this part of the pelvis. And you can see where my fingers are, these two jutting out places. That's the ischial spines. So in labor, as the baby comes down the birth canal, the baby has to negotiate. It's not a straight shot out, so the baby actually has to negotiate out and go past these ischial spines. And so one of the parameters that we watch in labor, we watch the dilatation, which is the opening of the cervix. We watch the effacement, and the effacement has to do with the thinning of the cervical, the cervix. And the next one is the station, and that is how the baby is progressing through the birth canal. And I've made a little diagram for you here to show you without the baby in the pelvis. These are the ischial spines. Everything above the spine we count as minus, and everything below the spine we count as positive. And we do it in a series of 5. So it starts off -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. When the baby gets to its head, in this case its vertex, gets to the level of the spines, it is at 0. But then as the baby progresses into labor and it gets below the spines, this baby's a little bit easier to go through, it's a little more pliable. As the baby gets down below the spines, not exactly in this presentation, actually I put this baby in an occiput posterior. Let's put it in on its smallest diameter. As it gets below the ischial spines, down here, then it becomes at a plus station. And when the baby is actually at a +5 station, we can then, when we're inspecting the maternal perineum, we can actually see the baby crowning, and that's at +5. So this concept has to do with where the baby is in the pelvis in relationship to the ischial spines. Everything above the spine, up above, is negative, and everything below the spine is positive. And when the baby gets to +5, we're ready for delivery. And that's the concept called station. And we will be talking about this more in class, but I wanted to take a little time for you to actually spend some time outside of class looking at this, and in particular beginning to get this concept in your mind. Okay, that's station.